Los Angeles, 1966. Stage 9. At 20th Century Fox. The first day of filming for the Green Hornet. Bruce Lee stands on set in his Kato costume. Black mask, black suit, chauffeur's cap. He's been preparing for this moment for months. This is his big break. His chance to show American television what real martial arts looks like. The crew is setting up lights. The director, William Bodine, a veteran who's been making films since the silent era, sits in his chair reviewing the script. The scene is simple. Kato fights three thugs in an alley. Standard television action sequence. 30 seconds later, the director yells, "Cut!" and the entire production comes to a grinding halt. The footage is unusable, not because Bruce did something wrong, because he did everything too right. His movements were so fast, the camera literally couldn't capture them. On playback, all anyone sees is a blur. But let's rewind. Bruce arrives on set at 6 a.m., early as always. He's been dreaming of this since childhood. Growing up in Hong Kong as a child actor, he appeared in over 20 films, but those were Chinese films, small productions. This is American television, network television, ABC, primetime. Millions of viewers. This is the door that opens everything. The role of Kato almost didn't happen. Bruce was teaching martial arts in Oakland when he got invited to demonstrate at the 1964 Long Beach International Karate Championships. He performed his famous two-finger push-ups, broke boards with his fist from 3 inches away, and demonstrated the 1-inch punch that sent Bob Baker flying into a chair. In the audience that day, Jay Sebring, a celebrity hairstylist. Sebring was friends with William Dozier, producer of Batman. He told Dozier, "You have to meet this Chinese kid. He's incredible." Dozier called Bruce to Hollywood for a screen test. Bruce demonstrated his speed, his precision, his philosophy. Dozier was impressed, but had no role for him. Then, a year later, Dozier developed the Green Hornet. The hero needed a sidekick, a chauffeur who was secretly a martial arts expert, someone who could fight multiple opponents with lightning speed and surgical precision. Dozier remembered the Chinese kid from Oakland. Now Bruce stands on set, ready to prove he belongs here. The scene: 3 stuntmen playing thugs. They attack Kato. Kato defends himself. Simple choreography. Bodine has explained how television fights work. Big movements, clear strikes, dramatic pauses, so the audience can follow the action. Make it look dangerous, but keep it safe. This is entertainment, not reality. Bruce nods but doesn't quite absorb the instructions. In his mind, he's not on a soundstage. He's in a real fight. This is how he's trained his entire life. To respond with maximum speed and efficiency. To strike before the opponent realizes you've moved. To end confrontations in seconds, not minutes. Action. The 3 stuntmen rush toward Bruce. He moves, not television moves. Real moves. The kind he's been perfecting since age 13. Under Yip Man in Hong Kong. The kind he's been teaching to students in Seattle and Oakland. Chain punches, trapping techniques, simultaneous block and strike combinations. His hands blur. His feet pivot with precision. In his mind, the choreography is perfect. In real time, it takes maybe 8 seconds. 3 thugs neutralized. Done. Cut. Bodine walks over to the cameraman. They review the footage. The cameraman shakes his head. Bodine's face is confused, then frustrated. He calls Bruce over. "Bruce, we have a problem." Bruce's stomach tightens. Did he mess up the choreography? Did he hit one of the stuntmen too hard? The camera can't see what you're doing. Bruce doesn't understand. "What do you mean?" Bodine shows him the playback. On the monitor, Bruce sees himself standing in position. The 3 stuntmen rush toward him. Then nothing. Just a blur of motion, like someone fast-forwarded through the action. Then the stuntmen are on the ground, and Bruce is standing over them. The actual fighting. "Your hands are moving faster than the camera can capture," Bodine explains. "We're shooting at 24 frames per second. Standard film speed, but your strikes are happening between the frames. The camera sees you in position A, then position C, but it never captures position B. On film, it looks like you're not doing anything. Then suddenly the stuntmen are falling down." Bruce stares at the monitor. This has never been a problem before. In real life, speed is an advantage. The faster you move, the less your opponent can react. But on camera, speed becomes a liability. If the audience can't see it, it didn't happen. One of the stuntmen, a veteran named Gene LaBelle, a judoka and professional wrestler who's worked on dozens of shows, walks over. Bruce, in real life, what you're doing would work perfectly. But this is television. We need the audience to see the technique. Otherwise, it just looks like guys falling down for no reason. They'll think it's fake. The irony isn't lost on Bruce. His real martial arts, the thing that makes him exceptional, looks fake on camera. Meanwhile, the exaggerated, slowed-down, theatrical fighting that he considers unrealistic, that's what reads as real to the television audience. Biadine tries to be diplomatic. Bruce, you're incredibly skilled. That's obvious. But we need you to slow down. Way down. I need the camera to actually see your hands moving. I need the audience to see the block, see the punch, see the reaction. Can you do that? Bruce nods slowly. Inside, he's frustrated. He's spent 15 years training to be fast. Speed has been his obsession. He's read books on biomechanics, studied how to generate maximum velocity with minimum telegraphing, practiced until his hands moved like reflexes. Now he's being told to do the opposite, to fight slowly, to telegraph his movements, to essentially perform bad martial arts for the camera. They reset. Take 2. Action. The stuntmen rush Bruce again. This time he deliberately slows himself down. When he throws a punch, he makes it visible. When he blocks, he extends the movement. He adds what he internally calls wasted motion. Movements that serve no combat purpose, but read clearly on camera. The fight takes twice as long. Maybe 15 seconds instead of 8. Cut. Biodine checks the playback. Better, but still not right. Some movements are still too fast. Bruce is trying to slow down, but his muscle memory keeps taking over. Years of training don't disappear just because a director asks nicely. Bruce, I need you to slow down even more. Think of it like a dance. You're showing the audience the technique, not actually fighting. Every movement needs to be clear, deliberate. I know this goes against your training, but this is television. Take 3, take 4, take 5. Each time, Bruce slows down more. Each time, the fight becomes more theatrical, less realistic. By take 6, Bruce is moving at maybe 60% of his actual speed. The choreography that should take 8 seconds now takes 25. But finally, the camera captures everything. The blocks are visible. The strikes are clear. The reactions make sense. On playback, it looks like a fight. Biodine smiles. That's it. That's what we need. I know this is hard, Bruce, but this is the compromise we make for television. The audience needs to see what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just a guy in a mask and 3 stunt guys falling down. During lunch break, Gene LaBelle joins Bruce. I saw your face out there. You're pissed. I'm not pissed. I'm adjusting. You spent your whole life training to be fast, and now you're being told to be slow. But this isn't real fighting. It's television fighting. Different rules. The audience needs to see the story of the fight. They need to see the block, the counter, the reaction. If it happens too fast, they miss the story. Bruce considers this story. That's different. In a real fight, you want it over in seconds. Gene continues. But in television, the fight is entertainment. We're showing the audience something exciting, and excitement needs time to build. So I need to learn to fight worse. Gene laughs. Not worse. Different. Camera fighting is a skill. Just like real fighting. Maybe even harder. Because you have to fight your own instincts. You have to deliberately slow down, extend movements, create clear visual beats. This shifts Bruce's thinking. Camera fighting isn't inferior. It's a different discipline entirely, like the difference between a boxing match and a boxing movie. Over the next few weeks, Bruce develops television speed, fighting at half his actual capability. He adds small pauses between techniques, angles his body for the lens, learns which strikes read well on camera. It's frustrating, but gradually he sees it as a craft. He's translating real technique into visual language. But here's what makes Bruce different. Even at half speed, he's still faster than anyone else on screen, where other actors throw wide punches. Bruce's strikes, even slowed, snap with precision, where others pause between techniques. Bruce's flow is continuous, where others look like they're performing. Bruce still looks dangerous. When the Green Hornet premieres on September 9th, 1966, the audience sees something they've never seen before on American television. Kato doesn't fight like a cowboy or a boxer. He fights with speed, precision, and a fluidity that's completely foreign to Western audiences. Yes, Bruce has slowed down from his actual capability. Yes, he's adapted his techniques for the camera. But what remains is still revolutionary. The show's director of photography later says Bruce Lee moves faster at 60% than most actors move at full speed. Even when he's deliberately slowing down, he's still the fastest thing on television. Reviews focus on Kato more than the Green Hornet himself. The real star is Bruce Lee, writes one critic. His martial arts sequences are unlike anything we've seen on American TV. Another notes, when Kato fights, you believe it. There's a reality to his movements that most television fighting lacks. Bruce reads the reviews with mixed feelings. The audience loves what they're seeing, but he knows they're not seeing his actual speed. They're seeing maybe half of what he's capable of. It's like a concert pianist playing a piece at half tempo. Still impressive, but not the full expression of their ability. One day on set, after filming a particularly complex fight sequence, William Dozier approaches Bruce. I've been thinking about something. You know how you had to slow down for the camera? Bruce nods. I wonder if years from now, when camera technology gets better, higher frame rates, better shutter speeds, someone will go back and film you at full speed. Because I think what we're capturing now is just a fraction of what you can actually do. Bruce smiles. Maybe. But by then, I'll be even faster. The bigger lesson, though, isn't about cameras or frame rates. It's about adaptation. Bruce came to Hollywood thinking martial arts was martial arts. One skill that translated everywhere. The Green Hornet taught him that context matters. Real fighting, demonstration fighting, and camera fighting are three different disciplines. Each requires different choices, different techniques, different mindsets. This experience shapes Bruce's philosophy of Jeet Kune Do, which he'll develop over the coming years. The idea that martial arts shouldn't be rigid, that you adapt your technique to the situation. In a real fight, maximum speed. In a demonstration, visible technique. On camera, theatrical clarity. The principle remains the same. Effectiveness. But effectiveness changes based on the goal. Years later, when Bruce directs his own fight scenes in films like Enter the Dragon, he remembers this lesson. He choreographs for the camera, not for reality. He uses angles that make strikes look powerful. He adds sound effects that emphasize impact. He builds rhythms into the fighting, fast exchanges followed by dramatic pauses that create emotional beats. He's not just fighting, he's telling a story through fighting. But he also pushes the technology. He demands multiple cameras to capture action from different angles. He experiments with slow motion to show technique clearly. He works with cinematographers to maximize what the camera can see. The frustration of that first day on the Green Hornet, being too fast for the camera, becomes motivation to expand what's possible in action filmmaking. Chuck Norris, who later fights Bruce on screen in Way of the Dragon, describes the experience. Bruce didn't just fight for the camera. He directed the camera around the fight. He understood that the audience's experience depended on what the lens captured. He'd say, put the camera here for this technique. Move it here for this angle. He was always thinking about what the audience would see, not just what we were doing. So here's the question. Have you ever been told you're too good at something? That your actual skill level doesn't translate to the format you're working in? That you need to dumb it down, slow it down, make it more accessible? How did you handle that? Did you see it as a limitation or as a challenge to adapt? Bruce Lee's first day on the Green Hornet wasn't a failure. It was a learning moment. The footage was unusable. Yes, but that failure taught him something essential. Real mastery isn't just about capability. It's about knowing when and how to use that capability. It's about adapting your approach to the context. It's about understanding that effectiveness changes based on the goal. If this story makes you think about the difference between being skilled and being able to demonstrate that skill, hit the like button. Subscribe for more stories about adaptation, learning, and what happens when reality meets technology. And comment below. When have you had to slow down or adapt your abilities to fit a different context? What did that teach you?